Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to do a good old project pan update. I try to do these every 3 months so I can show you guys my progress, show you if I used anything up or if I want to add anything, since this is a rolling project pan. And I love doing this because it helps keep me accountable, because I have to make sure I work on these things so I actually have results for these videos. But before we get into everything, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri and I'm just a crazy lover of all things beauty, and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup and all that good stuff. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. Here we are. It has been about 3 months. We are in full summer mode right now, and I do have some progress and I'm proud of it. I did pretty good for 3 months, and I've just been enjoying doing project pans. I think this is my second year doing it, and it has really helped me go through a lot of makeup and has helped me buy makeup less, especially in these categories that I'm focusing on. So I just get so excited when it's time to show you guys how I've been doing and what I'm adding, and just seeing things that finished up in my collection gives me so much happiness. So I'm gonna go over all the categories. I'll start with how I do my makeup, like primer, concealer, foundation, powder, all that. I'll show you what I used up, what I'm still working on, and then the things I'm gonna add in that category. So I think that's the best way to do it, and I will show you before and after photos if it makes sense to do that for the product. So I think we should just dive in now. So we're gonna start off with primer. So I did use one up completely. I had the Fenty Pro Filter Mattifying Primer. It's completely done, and I was all the way up here. So I went through it so fast in 3 months. Isn't that insane? Yes, it's totally empty. So that is one thing finished. And then I also had the Essence Poreless Partner Primer. This is the mattifying and blurring primer with niacinamide. Now this is the one I forgot about that was in my project pan, and I was telling you guys that in my last update. So I've been really focusing on it now. I feel like it's kind of, actually, can I see it through here? I would say it's like the product is right here, if I could guess. Let me see if I can see it in the lighting. Yeah, it's about right here. At this point, you're not going to be able to tell, but when I hold it up to the light, I can see that it's kind of sitting here when I feel it. So what I do is I just mark it with a nail polish. I couldn't tell the last time, but yeah, I'm just going to guesstimate based on what I can see through the lighting. Yeah. Is it? Am I making things up? I'm just gonna say it's right here. Kind of at the halfway mark. I mean, honestly, when I have these tubies, I just squeeze them hard and really dig in it. And sometimes I'll just cut off the end and dig through the product that way too, because I love to get every single drop out of my product. And since I used up a primer, I figured I'd add one. So we might as well put in the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. Love this because I can see through the bottle. It's very similar to the Fenty one. I think the Fenty one's just a little bit more matte, and this is just a little softer, but I'm gonna try to hit it down here. It's sitting at a weird angle, but that is where it's at. You see, I'm gonna mark it maybe right there. That's where I'll probably put the mark at. I don't know why it's sitting crooked in there, not evening it out. Not evening out. Oh my gosh. Words, Brie, words. So I'm gonna just say right here. The nail polish trick, by the way, is so good because it doesn't come off, and it also helps me notice which one of the products are in my project pan when I see the nail polish on it, just in case I forget. So that's where I'm gonna have it marked at. And that is it for primers. And for concealers, I actually used one up in this category, which is the Dose of Colors concealer. I've had this one forever. I had this since I had BoxyCharm, and I've canceled that a long time ago. This is probably expired, but it was all the way up here, all the way at this line. And now it's empty. I'll show you guys inside. Like, you can kind of see the bottom, right? Isn't that crazy? It's kind of hard to tell, but once you look at it, you can see, like, you can see the dot at the bottom. I could probably still scrape out some product, which I will do, but I'm gonna call this pretty much done. And then I was also working on this one from Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Concealer. Now, this one, I need to hurry up and finish because I feel like it's like getting expired. I don't know if you guys can see the line. It's like right there. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's a little bit lower. It's like sitting right here. I've used it a little bit, but I didn't concentrate on it. I didn't concentrate on it as much as I did the Dose of Colors one. So, gonna mark it where it's at. I mean, it's a little lower. So, I mean, I'm happy with that. As long as there's some kind of progress, I'm good with it. And since I got one done, I might as well add a new one. I thought I had added this to my project pan before, but I guess I haven't. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer. I think I had the darker version. That's what it was, and it was used as a foundation. I mean, you can use this in any way, but this is the shade Nude. I did already mark it because I can kind of see the line. It's so hard to show you guys in the lighting. So I marked it right there. So that will be our starting point for that. There's so much product in here. I think there's like an ounce. And that's a lot for a product that is like mainly a concealer. Well, how most people use it. So it will take some work to get through this. But once I get to the Pat one, the Pat McGrath one, I would probably really try to chisel this down since I've had it for some time. So that's it for the concealer. So now let's get into the foundations. I actually completely finished one up in this category as well. And I got through the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. This is the one in 2-in-1, which is on the lighter side. So I was mixing it with darker foundations. But I will show you guys. This is where I was at before, right here. So it's at the halfway mark, but look. I really dug in there. I was so sad actually when this was done because it just helped me lighten up foundations because I think this is light, medium, neutral, which was just a little too light, but I am finished. Yes, done with a foundation. I really go through foundation because I film a lot or I'm constantly like redoing my makeup when I'm doing multiple looks in a video. And then I was working on the Beauty Blender Bounce Skin Tint. I thought that they discontinued this, but maybe they didn't. But this is where I was at before, and this is where it is right now. This time you can actually see it. You see it's like sitting right there. So I'm going to mark that. That's a good amount of progress, but I figured it would be like this because I also use this a lot because I finished the Estee Lauder like, I feel like 3 weeks ago or almost a month ago. I mean, I really went through a lot of foundation in a month, like a half a bottle in a month or 2 months. That's a lot. So here is the new line. I'm getting nail polish all over my hands, but new line. Oh my God, this will totally be done by the next update. Then I also was working on the Estee Lauder Double Wear shade in 4-in-1, which this one is too dark for me. It's like medium tan. I don't know what I was thinking. But I don't think I really made that much progress on this. It's actually, I think, sitting at the same place, to be honest. And it's because I was using another foundation that was also darker for me and mixing it with the Estee Lauder instead. But I'll work on this because I'm getting a tan and I'm going to the pool a lot, and that will probably start looking a little better for me and it won't need to be mixed up as much. But then I have the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation, and I really need to finish this up because I know it's probably already expired. But this is the one I was mixing the most with the lighter Estee Lauder foundation, and look at it. It's down here. I was up here, now it's down here. Yes, baby, this should be done too. I can't wait to be finished with this. You know when you just have a product and you're like, okay, it's time for you to go. It is time for you to go. I've been using you enough. You're a never-ending product. Even though I'm like not grudgingly using this, like I don't hate this foundation. I think it's actually really nice and lightweight, but I I've been working on it forever. So there's the new line. So that should be probably done by my next update. And then I also had, I think, one other foundation. Yeah, I did. The Kimchi Chic, a really good foundation. This one I used a little bit. I've started working on it more, but this is where it was at before. You see that? And I can kind of see it's like sitting right there. You guys see that? Yeah. So I did a little bit of work on this. So I'm gonna mark it where I can see it. This is why I like glass bottles. It makes my life so much easier. I heard some people will like actually weigh their products, but I don't have an actual like food scale to do that. I think it's a food scale people are using. That is smart though. Maybe I just need to get me a little food scale. So that is marked, and show you where the new line is at now. I don't think this one will be done by the next update, but maybe it will be like down here instead is like the goal, you know, baby step. And then since I got through a foundation, I'm going to add another one. That is the rule. So I'm gonna add this other Beauty Blender Bounce Long Whip Long Wear Foundation. Now maybe this one wasn't discontinued and got rebottled in like a different kind of way. I can't remember which one, or maybe both of them still exist from a Beauty Blender, but I also like this because the bottle is, you know, glass so I can see through it. And I've had this one for a long time too, since I don't think they do this packaging anymore. But here it is. This is where it's at. So let me mark that. I know I have a lot of foundations in my thing, but I don't have a hard time going through foundations. So I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna mark it right here where I can kind of see the line is sitting. It's like a little bit below the top. And this one is in 3.45. I think this color is actually gonna be perfect for me right now. So that's the line. It's pretty much at the top of the bottle. So adding a foundation. Now for powders, I did finish up one powder, which is the Too Faced Perfect Peach one, but I had gotten pretty far in the last update. It was at this line right here, but now you can see it's like empty. Or was it this line? I can't remember which line, but it's completely empty, and I'm the type of person that will just try to rip off the top so I can get in there. So this is one of my favorite. I actually still have 2 backups of this. Then I was working on the Nakia Joy one, and I totally forgot. This is in my project pan. I just figured that out, I think a week or so ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, that this was in my project pan. And I was like, hello, why hasn't this been in there? So I was kind of working on it because I use powder quite a bit. So even though like 2 weeks ago was when I realized I hadn't used it, here it is based on where the line is. So I mean, that's pretty good for 2 weeks. I ended up pulling a different powder that I didn't have in my project pan and ended up almost using that one, which you're about to see. But I was like, I need to put this back because it is supposed to be here. So maybe let's mark where the first one was at here, and then I'll mark this one here. What I need to do is take the sticker off from the back so I can better see. Maybe I'll do that off camera though and mark through. So there we go. We've got a new line. A new line. Pretty good, right? For 2 weeks. So let me show you the powder that I accidentally thought was in my project pan and almost used up, but it's not completely done, is the Nakia Joy Cosmetics Pressed Velvet Finishing Powder. For some reason, I mixed the pressed with the loose one, thinking that this was part of the project pan, but it was not. But look at this. This is almost done. There's literally just a rim left of powder. And if you know me, I'm going to dig at those edges. When it gets too close to the edge, I'm gonna scrape it and break it up and press it in the middle just to get every little powder out of this thing. But I'm really proud of that. I mean, I really was focusing on powder. I was just focusing on the wrong one. And then I also had other pressed powders in here because I guess I just really like using pressed powder. So I had the Juvia's Place one. This is actually a powder foundation, but this one, I had a smaller pan, I believe, from the last video, but this is where it's at. Yeah, the pan is definitely bigger. I use this to like finish my makeup, like as a finishing powder. Or if I have something like a little too light, I'll put this over because it does have a tint and I feel like it oxidizes a little bit. So it helps like deepen up, I think, areas that look too light, like if my concealer is too light. But this is definitely more of a finishing powder for me than an actual foundation. Then I also had the NYX High Glass Finishing Powder, which I bought a backup because I think this is supposed to be discontinued. So it's like, there's another one on the website. I need another one, which I probably didn't need another one. But here is where the pan is now. I definitely think that this pan is bigger than the last time you guys saw this. Yes, I've been using this quite a bit since the summer has started, just to have that glowy, sun-kissed effect on the skin. I just dab it all over. Sometimes I'll put it on my chest and neck and stuff just to have that extra shine. I think this is such a beautiful powder. And then I also had the All Nighter Urban Decay Waterproof Setting Powder. This was in my makeup bag when I was going into the office. And here's where it's at. So I definitely didn't have pan the last time I showed you guys this product. So now I have pan. And this one too has a tint to it. So I use this as like an all over finishing powder. I don't really use it under my eyes because I feel like it is too dark for my under eyes. But I mean, I use this all the time at work to touch up when I was getting like kind of greasy and like weird throughout the day, because I do get really shiny at like the 8-hour mark. That was all the powders that are in the project pan. And since I accidentally ended up adding a powder, not realizing that I was using the wrong one, I'm not going to add any more since I have 4 pressed powders in here and 1 loose powder. So I technically already added one for this one being finished. Or maybe that was my thought process, but yet then I forgot about the other one. I don't know, you know, in every video of mine, I've forgotten about something. And now we're getting into blushes. So I took out 2 blushes for my last update and just kept the one from Burt's Bee, the Toasted Cinnamon one. And I finally finished this, and I use this almost every single day, especially when I was going into the office. I've only been working from home for like a week or so. But before that, every single day, this was my go-to blush. And it took me forever to get through it. And I couldn't believe how much work it takes to finish a whole full-size blush. I mean, I do love blush a lot. I have a big blush collection. So like when I was filming or on the weekends, I wasn't really reaching for this. But Monday through Friday, this was the go-to blush. Every now and then I would use a different color. But I'm done, and I'm not going to add any more blushes to this project pan because it's just not realistic. I mean, this took me almost, a year and a half to get through, and maybe I already had some pan when I started that, or it was on the lower side, so I just know blush is too hard. Then I also had a couple bronzers and a face palette. So I was working on the Fenty Cream Bronzer. I was hoping I was going to be finished with it already, but the pan is a lot bigger. I still have to do some more work on it to get it finished, but I've been using it a lot lately. I've been kind of into cream products for some reason, but you see how big the pan is now? So I'm confident that the next update, this will be gone. This is the one in Macchiato. I was so concentrated on this face palette, I haven't really given that much love to this bronzer because this one right here, it's like the never-ending face palette, and I always complain about how it's never-ending, and this is why I will never buy like a big face palette like this ever again. Now I did get this in a BoxyCharm, so it's probably not a product I would have realistically bought, but I had it, and I mean, I did pay for that subscription, so I wanted to use the products up. But I do feel like I've gotten pretty far though. But this is for a year and a half of Penny. A year and a half? Now these 2 are almost done. These 2 are completely empty, and I have a huge pan in this bronzer and a little pan, decent sized pan in this other bronzer. But I'm thinking maybe I could at least finish this and this by the next update, or have these completely done at least. That's my goal, because I want to know what it's like to completely finish a face palette. So I have high hopes that at least by the end of the year. I have eye primers that are in my project pan. So I have the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish primer. Now, It's not done, but I've used it a lot. I don't remember where it was at before, but like I squeezed the tube down, and this is where I feel like the product is ending at as I like kind of dragged all the primer and looked at it. So I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna mark this with a little bit of nail polish just to say this is where it's squeezed all the way at, or like the ending point. I'm gonna go with that. But I mean, primers, like eye primers, take a long time because you have to use just such a teeny little bit of the product. Then I also had the Glamlight Icing Eyeshadow Base Primer. Now I did try to squeeze this down, but it has so much air in it, so I don't really feel like it's really indicating where it's at. But I'm gonna mark it where it's like the thinnest before it starts to get thicker. But I use this all the time, especially when filming, because it's like my tried and true primer. It's on the lighter side. All the eyeshadows that I've used have worked really well on this primer, and I just really enjoy using it. So that's why I am gonna just keep working on it, and why I use it so much when I film. But eye primers are gonna take forever. So I don't know if either of these primers will be done by the next update, but at least I can get to a point where I'm like almost done with one of them. All right guys, that was everything for this project pan. I'm very proud of myself, like I always am, because you know, the effort is there and I'm putting in the work, and I got through a good amount of products this time. I got through a primer, a concealer, a foundation, a powder, and a blush. That is 5 products finished. So that is really good. And then I have some good amount of progress on a lot of products in here that I know will be done very soon. So I'm very happy with that. So I'm gonna keep chugging away and working on the things that I have here. And because of this, like I said, it's been making me purchase less foundations, less concealers, less powders. I've gotten some here and there, but nowhere near what I used to purchase. Because before I used to buy like every foundation that intrigued me. I would just pick it up. I wouldn't think about it. Same with concealers, same with powders. But you guys will now have to let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments below? Are you working on a project pan? What do you think of my results? Are you enjoying these kind of videos? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you are new here and you enjoy this kind of content, you like a lot on indie makeup, project pans, shop my stash videos, all that fun stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the products linked so you can check them out for yourself. I will also link my project pan playlist if you want to see my other videos, see the other things that I've gotten through, and I will have my makeup linked. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but I have the Lethal Cosmetics Avatar collection on. I have the water palette, I have the earth palette mixed together for this eye look. I have one of the lippies, the Ty Lee lippy on. So if you want to see how I put this together, definitely check out that video. I think it will be up before this one. If not, check out for it because it will be coming if I haven't posted it yet. And I will also have my contact and my social media platforms. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, being the best part of YouTube. You guys make me so happy. I love reading your guys' comments and interacting with you guys. You just make this so fun and enjoyable, and you guys are like my besties that I get to talk about makeup with, and it brings me so much joy. But I do hope you guys are having a wonderful summer, and I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and I'm just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.